Next, we are going to discuss speed and velocity. Motion is all about the rate position change or measurement of position change. So there are two different ways in which we can check the position change of an object. One is by checking or measuring the path covered between 2 points, and one by drawing a straight line from initial to final point, that is the displacement. So speed, the rate of covering path, that the actual path he has taken, that is called the distance per unit time is called speed, and velocity, it is the rate of covering straight path. Whatever the path the object has taken doesn't matter here. The things here matter. It is the straight line that should be drawn from initial to final point, and the length of that path per second the object is measuring or covering, that will be the velocity. And speed is distance by time and velocity is displacement by time. The unit for both of them is same, because distance, it is the length, so it should be measured with the unit of meter, and time, that is with second. Displacement, it is again length, but in a particular direction. Its unit is meter, it should be measured in meter and divided by time. Next, to understand this in better way, suppose that an object has to travel A to B, and during 5 seconds he travel up to this point. So the total path length he covered during 5 seconds is 15 meter, and time taken 5 meter. But the displacement he took, that was this much, it may be 10 meters, suppose that, and the time for both the cases are same. So speed for this object from A to this point C, it is 15 by 5, that is 3 meter per second. But the displacement he covered, that is the straight line he has to travel from A to C, is 10 meter. So it is 10 meter by 5 second again, so it will be 2 meter per second. So you can see, while measuring the speed, we have to take the total path length, and measuring the velocity, we have to take the straight line from A to the initial to the final point. Here we need not to see the path he has taken. If we have to measure velocity, we have to take the initial to final length or path length, only that much. Next point, we are going to discuss average speed and average velocity. What is the average speed and average velocity? For convenience, let us see, when you come from your home to your school, you take different direction, your different path to reach to your school, but at different points you had different velocities, different speeds. You are covering different distances at different instant. So somewhere you were 20 km per hour, somewhere you were 30 km per hour, somewhere you were 0 km per hour. So at different instant you had different. So these velocities are instantaneous velocities. When you measured it at different points, suppose that there were some specific point in your way where you stop for some while. That point, at that point you had 0 velocity. So that velocity at that point is called instantaneous velocity. And these are the instantaneous velocities at different instant. Suppose that your school is 5 km away from your home, 5 km from your home, and it takes half hour to reach. So if I ask you, you come with a constant speed to your school. Don't stop anywhere. Don't take over speed. You just take a constant speed and come to your school. Then you have to take 10 km per hour speed to reach your school within this much time, half an hour. So this constant value will be your average value of speed. Similarly, for the velocity also, you have to see the straight line. In a straight line, suppose that this is your home, and this is your school. You took this, you take this part every day to reach to your school, and this is total distance. Suppose the total distance is x, and your time is t. Then your average speed will be x by t. So first of all, to find the average speed, you need to calculate the total path length from A to home to your school. Your home to your school. So total distance is x and total time you every day take, that is t, that will be divided. And now you from this example, your average speed is 5 kilometer per hour. You can 10 kilometer per hour. So in this case, in your everyday school going way, you take different speed at different point, but one day only you are in the your vehicle and you ask your driver just take a constant speed, then he will calculate the total distance and total time he every day takes and divided by taking the divided total distance by total time, he will calculate the average speed or constant speed he has to take. So this is called average speed. But in moving from A to school, home to school, you have different points. Suppose that here you have your speedometer were showing 20 km per hour. So this velocity will be your instantaneous velocity, and average velocity we will discuss the basic difference between speed and velocity. Rate of covering distance is called speed and rate of covering displacement is called velocity. It is already discussed in the earlier part, and it is a scalar quantity. Why it is a scalar quantity? Because it is the measurement of a scalar quantity in its second, and it is a vector quantity because it is the measurement of a vector quantity, that is displacement in a particular direction during 1 second. It cannot be 0, it can be 0. For, as earlier we have discussed, suppose that object P starts from here and return to P again through this path, then its total distance is this much length. So here the object was traveling or covering some distances, whatever he has time taken. So it cannot be 0, but the displacement, the object has returned to its initial point. So initial and final point both coincides at the point. So displacement is 0. So displacement is 0 divided by time. Suppose that t taken, so total velocity is again 0. So distance cannot be 0, but displacement can be 0. And fourth one, it cannot be negative. As we have discussed, displacement cannot be negative. So speed cannot be negative, and displacement can be negative because suppose that someone has to travel A to B, but he has traveled B to A, the displacement is minus 10 meter instead of 10 meter. For this direction it was 10 meter, but when he took this direction it is minus 10 meter. So minus 10 meter divided by t, so there will be minus 10, negative sign, here comes negative sign. So velocity is a negative quantity. One more thing, it is equal or more than velocity. So always I have seen that distance is either more than displacement or equal to displacement. It is equal when the object has travelled in a straight line, the distance and displacements are equal. But for this case, two cases I am going to discuss. Between A and B, one path is this one and one path is this one. This path is the shortest path and this is the displacement. It is smaller, but the distance it has covered is bigger or larger than the displacement. So speed will be more, but the velocity will be smaller. So when it is equal, when both the object has traveled through this path, the distance or displacement both are same. So velocity and speeds are same. But in most of the cases, if you have taken different path, the distance covered in a given time is more than displacement you have covered. So the speed is always, not always, speed is more than or equal to velocity. Note, for a straight line motion, speed and magnitude of displacement are same. You can see, because in a straight line the distance and displacement are same and the time for the two cases are will be same. So distance and displacement are same.